Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm dear darling. Should we see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhallow today, where we are going to be relaxing, chilling as per usual. What will we be talking about? That's honestly great question. Haven't yet decided. And by haven't yet decided, I mean I'm basically opening up the holiday photo album and being like, what happened after husky dog riding? Sounds honestly a great question. I don't know what accent I'm doing now. It's the DM's folly where you just randomly do a character's voice for no apparent reason. Good evening, everyone. Renowned Fawnhallow. It's 11:04 p.m. on Friday, March 21st, 2025. What I can say, I don't think this will incorporate a whole episode yet. Maybe at some point, because I started playing Pokemon TCG Pocket over the holiday. I think it was probably a bit before the holiday I started playing. And then the holiday I actually played for a bit more because I had there was such some time when there was some downtime, etc, etc. Now I'm playing it a lot. I'm working my way through all the PvE content. I'm partway through the third level of difficulty. And I have a lot of cards, to be honest. I pulled a lot. I've used basically all my hourglasses. I'm now saving them up because there's apparently a new expansion coming. And yeah, that's about it. Honestly, I'm having a quite nice time with it. I really liked the original Pokemon trading card game. But when I was younger, I was basically the only one who played it. Or even vaguely knew about it in primary school. And we weren't allowed. This is crazy. I was the only one who knew it. And then basically, no, we weren't allowed to bring toys in to our primary school. So obviously I can't do the thing which I feel like is an American high school or American school classic where you bring in cards and then you play them and then you lose them and then there's drama about that. Because we were straight up not allowed them. In fact, no joke, the card game which was popular in our school was the Doctor Who card game, except for no one knew how to play it. So it was just the collectible part of it. It wasn't until secondary school where one of my friends actually played a Pokemon trading card game. So we got some packs and we played it for a little bit. That's about it, to be honest. And then we didn't for ages. And then we played the online version for ages. And the online version kind of sucked because it was so difficult to get cards. This one's actually quite easy to get cards in. And it's significantly more pared down. So it doesn't take ages to play a game. It takes minutes to play a game, which is fantastic. Perfect for a mobile game. Is it balanced? I don't know. I like the PvP content. I like doing some of the PvP content. I will say it's pretty crazy that the PvP content is an event, and the only thing you can really get out of the event, the highest tier award, is you have to win 5 PvP matches in a row, which is crazy. I grinded so much during that time. And spent a little bit. I must say, they have my weakness. They put evolutions in as a cosmetic, and after I played this game for a while, and I was like, okay, I actually quite like this game. Yeah, I bought the evolution cosmetic items with in-app purchases. Sue me. Well, don't sue me. Actually, I don't know what grounds you would sue me on. But no, I love the evolutions. Yeah, but I bought a lot to get a deck which could work. In retrospect, apparently I didn't know that much about the meta, so I definitely should have studied and looked at the meta more when I tried to make this deck, but I got very lucky anyway. But I ended up being able to make a Leafeon Celebi deck, which did get me my 5 wins. There were 3 different times I got to 4 wins, and then I lost on the 5th win. And very annoyingly, 2 of them were definitely my fault. It wasn't necessarily guaranteed that I had a win, but I definitely could have helped and put it more in my favor. The 3rd time, I think, was basically just Celebi. I needed one. So Celebi works by basically you flip a coin as many times as you have resources essentially built up, and she does damage basically on how many heads she got. And there was one time I had basically 8 resources, 8 energy on her, and I just I can't remember if it was 1 head or 2 heads or something. I think it was 2 heads. And I was I literally just need 2 heads out of 8 to do it. No, I think it was 9 actually. And then I flipped it, and no joke, I got 1 head, and I was like, oh my god, and I lost the game off of that. And that was heartbreaking. I had to stop playing that for a little bit to be Leafeon Celebi tech is so RNG. It's a heartbreaking thing when it goes wrong. But sometimes it's very clutch, where you're just okay, I have 4 things to flip. I need all 4 to be heads for me to have a chance. And then you get 4 heads, and you're like, yeah. It really is a gacha within the gacha. Anyway, now I can actually build some more proper decks. I can actually build the Arceus Dialga deck. I got really lucky, by the way, with Dialgas. Maybe I'm going to talk about TCG Pocket apparently for this entire thing. It was a thing I did on holiday. My friends, we would like I have a friend who was then we would like do the polls for each other's accounts, and we would do like the wonder picks and stuff. And it was genuinely like a pretty fun time, to be honest. Didn't get particularly lucky when like we cursed each other's account when we were trying to do things, and then we got like a different friend to do it, and she like I can't remember, I gave her a thing and she pulled an EX and I was like, what? It was incredible. Anyway, I have another friend who's been playing the game a lot longer than I have. Well, he's been opening a load of packets. They sent me a list of spare duplicates they have to trade, and I need to actually like review that list and be like, okay, which one of these do I need? Which one of these can I give? The thing is, I don't actually have many well, actually, I have a lot of duplicates for non-EX cards, to be fair. That's no surprise. Because I feel like you just sort of accrue them super, super easily. But really, I'm both a collector and both an optimizer. So I'm just like, I want to collect to fill out like the rest of the packets, which I don't have things for. And then I also want to be able to make them meta teams because, I don't know, I'm both achievement oriented and collector oriented, which is a very deadly combination because that's just everything oriented. Anyway, not the point. I guess we'll just talk about TCG Pocket. Because TCG Pocket is interesting. I did play the original Pokemon trading card game, or the physical version, I should say. I didn't play it like super far. Like, as I say, like I played a physical one, but the most I played a physical one, because there weren't really any game stores near me to actually play them. I think now there are, like where I grew up, but maybe not as common, I don't know. But I played during the Garchomp EX, Charizard EX, and I think it was Rayquaza EX. Those 3 boxes were a thing. So I bought some boxes, so I got like a Garchomp and I got like a Charizard EX, and I basically played a Garchomp deck, I think. What was it a good deck? No, probably not, because I didn't have a lot of the cards, because obviously with those games you kind of need to be collecting them for like ages to be able to get all the cards in it and that sort of thing. But at least like with TCG Pocket, it's like pretty near the infancy of the game, so I'm not like that far behind. And at least from what I can tell, a lot of the earlier deck stuff, like the powerful cards from those decks are not that like key to the meta or anything like that. So I pull those ones to make sure I just get like what items which I need or whatever, and then I just move on to the more modern decks. But now I've like started to fill up like the ones I wanted from the more modern releases, but I can now start going back to the older ones again and be like, okay, let's start filling things up again. I haven't got everything, so I can't make a Palkia deck, despite the fact that I do have the Palkia EXs for it. Mainly because I haven't got the baby Palkia, I believe it's called, or dubbed sometimes. But that's okay, because I feel like that's an easier thing to get from the Palkia EXs, so I'm not really worried about that. But yeah, what else can I say about it? Yeah, so I played the original one, the physical one, a decent amount around that time, and then when it came to the online one, I played it like on and off for ages. Mainly I just ended up playing the sort of the PvE mode, because I didn't have enough cards to really try doing PvP. I mean, you can try doing it, but you would just like lose horribly, because obviously everyone else has cards and you're just like, oh, I'm playing with my basic Venusaur deck or something, and that doesn't really cut it in the meta. I don't remember what was the most popular deck ever Pika when I was playing the online version. All I remember is the deck I wanted to make was a Gardevoir Sylveon deck, which was basically a stall mill deck sort of thing. And I love mill decks. And I love gimmicky, silly decks like that. If you don't know what a mill deck is, it's a deck, because there's 3 win conditions in Pokemon. You either collect all 6 of your prize cards, aka you defeat 6 Pokemon, or, EXs are worth double. You knock out all your opponent's active Pokemon, so they have no other Pokemon which they can swap into. Or the final way is your opponent reaches the end of their deck and runs out of cards, essentially. And what a mill deck basically is mill deck basically is it uses effects to basically one, stall out and survive a game, but two, more importantly, is to mill your opponent's cards, like put them in like a grind mill, etc., which essentially means they discard. You make them discard or like fill up their hand size so they can't carry things anymore. I played a mill rogue in Hearthstone a decent amount. Is it good? No. Do I like playing it? Yes. And it's just a very, very gimmicky deck. It's interesting that I like playing it so much because it's a very anti-interactive deck, I would say. It's no by no means good, but something about it is very appealing to me, with just how it sort of like circumnavigates. It's like a very meta in the sense of not like being strong, but meta as in it plays over game's mechanics. I mean, they all play over game's mechanics, but like the underlying system, like of like running out of cards ends the game. Like I don't think that's necessarily an intended thing, but maybe it is, maybe it's not, who knows. Or not intended necessarily the vision. Probably the vision for the game, they wanted you to actually like beat up each other's Pokemon, right? Know what I'm saying? But yeah, anyway. So that's what I remember, is I wanted to play a Gardevoir Sylveon deck, couldn't get them. So I do remember when they had like double releases. They have something like, I think they put a lot of the mechanics from the games into the physical game now. Like I think terrestrializing's in there, and I think there's like crazy power creep in the physical game. I mean, there's like power creep in a lot of games, to be honest, so I'm not going to pretend it's like a uniquely physical trading card game thing. But it's certainly interesting to hear about it, to see about it, to think about it, to feel about it. So a really nice thing that Pocket has going for it is the fact that it was able to basically reset itself from square one again. Where it's like, oh, they don't have to be concerned with like whatever the crazy inflated meta they've got going on at the moment, which is what the previous online one kind of suffered from a little bit. Every time it got introduced, it's like they can rebalance things from the ground up. So one thing which they very sadly got rid of is they got rid of, I think, the existence of mill decks, essentially. Because I don't think it's a win condition if your opponent runs out of cards to draw, but there is like a turn limit now, where basically if you stall for too long, the game just ends in a draw. Which is sort of bad for the mill deck, because the mill deck goes on like for quite a while a lot of the time. But instead you play a bit, they simplified it down a lot, so instead of having 6 prize cards, there's 3 prize cards, and instead of it being prize cards, it's just points, which is so good, because the one thing I certainly remember when I was looking into more of a meta of a physical one when I played it more, was the fact that so many combo like based decks could just insta-lose if their combo was stuck within the prize cards. Because in the physical game, you'd actually have to set aside 6 cards of your deck to put it down. Not to put it down, 6 cards of your deck. And you could only pick one once you defeated an enemy's opponent Pokemon. I don't know if they ended... I feel like in my mind, I don't know if this is true, they ended up adjusting the rules later, such that you would just draw an extra card if you defeat an enemy's Pokemon. So, you know, combo decks weren't just absolutely put over by the fact that their combo just could be... They could lose the game straight off the bat. Yeah, I also remember Night March was a deck. That was a deck that I wanted to actually build because it was a very sort of cheap one to build, right? Like, it doesn't use any EX cards. It only uses, like, very specific cards. And I loved it as a concept because I was like, whoa, you include Pokemon in your deck which you can't even evolve into, for the sole purposes of using Night March. Night March was basically an ability which scaled up with how many Pokemon in your discard pile had the Night March ability. So you would put things like Lampent in, but you wouldn't put Litwick in. So you could never actually bring Lampent onto the battlefield, but you would do it just so you could discard more Pokemon with Night March into your deck. And I was like, into your discard pile. I was like, that's so cool. You might say that's not actually cool, and I think you might actually be right from a game design standpoint, but from me, a gimmick lover standpoint, I love that. But yeah, anyway, TCG Pocket does simplify things down a lot. I think it's a bit bare bones kind of at the moment because they don't have like any sort of ranked ladder system. They have a battle mode, but I'm not really incentivized to play the battle mode. I'm more incentivized at the moment to play the PvE mode because I actually get rewards from it. And I play the PvP mode, I guess, during events. I've only partaken in one PvP event. But I suppose really, more than anything, it's more of a collectathon style sort of game. I mean, it allows you to open 2 packs every single day, which is kind of nice to do the collectathon portion of it. And you can trade, which is good as well. Even better if you have friends to trade with, so you actually know what things you need and what things you don't. And now I'm getting more into the game, and now I know I'm in it for, I'm not sure of a long run necessarily, but at least in it for a while. I need to figure out like a list of things which I need to actually get for each of these to kind of finish off my collection. I'm not going to get like a full art collection or anything, I don't think like that, but I do want to get at least all the base cards in each pack. So yeah, that I need to sort out with my friend, so we can, you know, you scratch my back, I scratch yours sort of situation. I mean, other than that, I suppose I will just like hunt around Discord servers and be like, hey, who needs this card? I need this card. As a trading system goes, except for now I suppose I'm an adult instead of a kid and actually have connections via the online world, so it's a lot easier for me to actually get the stuff that I'm missing. What else is cool about TCG Pocket? I think it's a bit of a sad thing that they've done the thing where they split booster packs up into variants of booster packs. Like, the original one had Genetic Apex, they had like a Mewtwo, Pikachu, and a Charizard version. Because it basically just means that you had to pull in each 3 of them separately to get different EX cards, but then a load of like the common cards are shared between them. Well, actually, I'm not even necessarily sure if they're necessarily shared between them. They're basically just doing like 3 different booster packs, but also not, kind of. I like it much better when it's just 1 booster pack for 1 expansion, but hey ho. But yeah, there was a new one announced really recently, which basically, it kind of looks like it's a shiny pack. Like it's all about shiny Pokemon, which is interesting. It seems like there's a new rarity of cards, which I'm not that fussed about getting. I do really like though the full arts in the game. Like a lot of the arts are really, really pretty. Like I'm trying to think of a good one off the top of my head. I don't know. I need to like look at a picture of him. Like the Shaman ones are gorgeous. I love the Shaman Sky one and the regular Shaman one. I'm very lucky to actually have both of them. Not that I have a Shaman Sky deck, but still. I guess I could make a Shaman Sky deck. Like, they're really, really gorgeous. Like, there's a Vaporeon one, which I think is really, really pretty as well. The Serperior one is really nice. I don't have the Darkrai or Cresselia one, but I love, love, love those cards. What else is good? And all, so many of it, yeah, I think all the EX versions have, like, full arts as well, which are really, really cool ones. Like, the first full art EX one I got was a Palkia one, and I was just like, whoa, it's got a sick animation. It's like MC Escher. The space is, like, morphing itself around it. And I was like, that's so cool. I guess in a way it kind of makes me feel like a child again. So looking at these, like, really pretty card arts, you know. I remember Garchomp EX being like, whoa, busting out the borders of a card, that's so cool. That's not what I sounded like when I was younger. I sounded a lot more monotonous when I was younger, so I'd probably be like, whoa, Garchomp EX, busting out the borders of a card, so cool. But yeah, it's a game with very, very cool card art. Well, what else is a really good one off the top of my head? I don't know. I adore the Leafeon EX full card art. I'm not lucky enough to have it. I'm lucky enough to have Leafeon EX twice, so I can actually run the deck, thankfully. But I hope one day to be able to actually get the full card art, I suppose. Let's see if I can even open a pack. I'm even using this online tracker now to basically find out which packs I need to open to actually get the most things from them. I think at the moment I'm opening Palkia Spacetime Smackdown, because I think Genetic Apex Pikachu is the one that I technically am missing the most from, but it's all really low rarity cards, and most of the cards I don't want. The ones which matter the most to me at the moment are the EX cards. The low rarity ones are sort of like whatever. I'll get them eventually. Or maybe I should get the Triumphant Light ones, but the Triumphant Light ones is 1 in 10. But the Palkia one at least is 1 in 2, so it's actually much more achievable. But the thing is, I'm not sure. I think I do want Weavile EX on this thing. I already got one, but I'd like another. But other EXs I'm not too crazy for. Or like don't matter so much to me. Mythical Island, I want my Mew EX. Oh, Gyarados as well, actually, apparently is going up in the meta. I think I have one Gyarados, but I don't have two. But I also haven't looked at what the Gyarados EX packs are. But yeah, I'm just missing a lot from Pikachu. But I feel like the low rarity ones are much easier to get. There's no EX ready from Pikachu's deck I want. So yeah, opening up the Palkia ones. I'm getting it just for collection purposes, but at least a Palkia I have a decent chance to get something, which is good. So open one right now, at the end of this episode. And I'll let you know how good it is. But I like how they really sort of play into the feeling of opening packs. You know, you get to choose a pack as well, you can inspect it, you can turn it around. When you have a card, you can sort of tilt it to the side to see if you got anything rare. I've not got anything rare in this one. I got a Glammeow. I got a Gibble. I've got a Rocky Helmet. These are all ones I've got already. Snover. I'm not sure what lower rarity ones I'm missing from this pack, but still. And a Drapion, which is unfortunately not new. So I lost the 50-50. This time, didn't get any new cards. But that's okay. I like having this little dashboard collecting. Not dashboard, but this online site to track which cards I have. Definitely took a little bit of time to actually enter them all in the first place, but there you go. Yeah, but now I'm saving up my hourglasses and waiting for the new pack to drop. And then I'll blow a load of hourglasses on that. I'm not sure what deck I want to build from a new pack. Yeah, I haven't really thought about it. I think a Giratina one would be kind of cool, but we'll see. So there you go, TCG Pocket. I think it's kind of fun. I think it at least has some potential to stick around. Mainly franchising is a big thing. But I mean, the Pokemon Trainer one stuck around for a while, so I don't see why this one couldn't either. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this episode off here, so if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares, greatly appreciated. Socials, Discord down below. Hope to see each other again, but for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye-bye for now.